I'd like to invite on stage Mr. Shashi Sinha, CEO India, IPG Media Brands, and Chairman for BARC, which stands for Broadcast Audience Research Council. And the topic of keynote address is criticality of TV measurement in the age of convergence. Before I invite Mr. Shashi on stage, a few words about him. So, Mr. Shashi Sinha, an Indian executive who's the current CEO, India, for media brands, manages the second largest media agency group that includes Lodestar UM, Initiative Media, Interactive Avenues, Media Brands, Reprise, Rapport, Cadreon, Orion, and Magna Global in India. The group manages approximately 20% of the overall media spend in the country and is widely recognized for its strategic approach to media solutions across a wide portfolio of over 100 blue chip clients such as Samsung, Amazon, Amul, Coca-Cola, Johnson and Johnson. He is also actively involved in various industry bodies such as the Advertising Standards Council of India ASCI, the Advertising Agencies Association of India AAAI, past chairman of Audit Bureau of Circulation ABC, past president of the Ad Club and current chairman of Broadcast Audience Research Council and of Media Research Users Councils India. He's also an honorable member of the prestigious Meta India Client Council. He's an alumni of IIT Kanpur and IIM Bangalore, where he was recently conferred the Most Distinguished Alumni Award. An industry veteran with over 30 years of experience, where he has built a highly awarded team of professionals and organizations that today form the country's leading media network. Well, this is just more than that can be said. So please put your hands together for none other than Mr. Shashi Sinha. There he is. It's an honor to have you here, sir. Over to you. Thank you.
Thank you for the introduction. Normally, it's just slip up on my side. Normally, I always request not to do an introduction. I prefer coming on stage and speaking, but anyway, I messed up. But thank you a lot for that. Thanks a lot for getting me here, good friends. Thank you, Vijay, Humanath, Gokul, for calling me. The minute they said come, I said definitely come and speak. I obviously got it wrong, slightly wrong. I thought was speaking on metamorphosis of mass media, print and television, but I see the topic specifically which haunts me wherever I go because of the role I do with BARC, which is criticality of television measurement, or in the age of convergence. So this is what it is. So I will speak about that also. Now that fortunately that's a day job, maybe evening job, but more a day job. But I understand it well, so or at least I think I understand it well. So I will definitely cover that. But before that, I mean, I must compliment you on talking of print and television in this era. I mean, everyone talks of digital, rightly so. It's a fastest growing medium today. It's as per various reports, it's gone past TV is the biggest medium in this country. So, and it's very fashionable, to talk about this. But someone who's talking about a forum talking about print and TV really warmed the cockles of my heart and was happily agreed to come. I'm a big believer in the power of these two medium, and I'll speak about them. The reason why I believe is the critical. Everything flows from there. So it's also interesting to see some of my dear friends, Pankaj is sitting here, but of course, Aaj Tak makes all its money from TV, but they're talking of connected TV and they're talking of digital there, which is the future. So probably they're wanting to bank in on that, and so on and so forth for everyone. So there's a story in that, and the story is as follows: that in my mind, that finally it's all business, it's all commerce, and commerce will finally be all in it for ROI, only to make money. The money which we make from print and TV is not going to go away very far. I mean, it's not. It's whatever may happen. It's difficult for the other than the big two, the Google and the Facebook, to make too much money out of digital at this point in time. It's all going to be the preview. However, in TV and print, it's going to be all the big guys. And the print and TV business, especially TV, you'll find all the platforms which are being invested in, all guys coming in from TV, putting the money onto digital OTT platforms and stuff like that. So I think it is appropriate that a conference like this talks about the mainstream business. Of course, there's a rider to it which talks about convergence in the era of convergence, and so to me these are, as it's very obvious, these are all delivery platforms. Finally, it's content. It's content which drives it. Content on television of one kind, content or on video content of one kind, content on print of another kind, which is probably more news driven. So that is not going to change. And these people have perfected the art of driving content. I mean, the TV industry started by Z, has been there for more than 25 years. So they've been doing it print for immemorial. They understand it. They've built the infrastructure. They've got so many titles. They've got, reporters in every district. So that's very difficult to replicate. It's not going to be easy, and that is the wherewithal which will not go away. That content now finds distribution in the form of handheld device or connected TV on five other ways. That's incidental, but that's what it is. However, in my mind, there are two, three, before I get into the measurement part, which was rolled out to me, there are two, three key things which will happen, you know. And like digital had a bearing on TV and print, digital will go through its own change. And I'm sure what I'm going to say to you is very obvious. There are three big things happening. The first is legislation. So all of you know, globally there's legislation around data privacy and data protection. And digital, there's a fair degree. 50% of digital money which comes in from performance. 50% comes in from band, or maybe my ratios may be wrong, but broadly speaking, that's what it is. So with data protection coming in, and India has its own data protection act, it'll become tougher. It's not going to be that easy. A lot of time which happens, people privacy will come into play. So that's going to be, in a way, will have bearing and implication on this. And I think a lot of people today who are getting results in performance marketing will start seeing, the easy victories will go away. They will have to struggle. A lot of large companies who are plowing in, especially the e-com companies, are plowing in tons of money on digital. Will have to rethink whether when the full scale and impact of the data protection law is felt. The other big thing which you guys would have, I'm sure, figured out, it's a move, very interesting move. The Ministry of Information Broadcasting just did a few days back, where they put out a consulting paper on content. I mean, they're looking at finding common uh, laws and regulation on TV and OTT. That will have, in my mind, a far-reaching impact. Who knows what is in their mind? I don't know what is in their mind. But if I was to hazard a guess, I would say probably they want to make a level playing field between the OTT and the video platforms and TV guys, and that is a huge implication. A lot of content which is on OTT today, and I don't have a bias either way, but a lot of content which is on OTT today, there's no regulation. TV, as you know, is regulated in terms of content. So I think there's a mismatch on that, and if that comes into play, you will find some kind of even keel coming onto that. The So that's the second point. The third point, which I personally feel, is economics. I talked about TV being thing. Today India, uh, unfortunately, I say it unfortunately. I work for an advertising company, but I say it unfortunately, uh, the subscription model that doesn't work. It's very small, and it'll be so for a long time to come. I mean, Geo has led the way. Geo has ensured that everything which is in this business is all about people have got used to getting everything free or at very low throwaway prices. So too for OTT content. I mean, you're seeing Netflix already announced that they will come to an ad-driven model. Many others will follow. I'm not taking names. Amazon, my client, is working on those models. So finally, subscription revenue is going to be suspect. It's never going to be enough to get you handsome profits. It will always be advertising. And when you're looking at advertising, you'll always find that advertising will always follow eyeballs where there is measurement. So I think, that's the lay of the land today. And when I say measurement, it's not just measurement, it's third party measurements. Measurement like what Bach does or what Pankaj does. So it's going to be a measurement which is third party, which is validated. There's an industry overview in that sense. So I think in that context, the lead into measurement becomes important. In my scheme of things, it's not just a party, because a lot of people say, and I say this with all sincerity, a lot of people say to me in private conversations, I'm the only one who says it on stage, that probably digital has grown faster because there's no third party measurement. Maybe third party measurement has stunted the growth of TV or print. I said that's not right. you know there is an initial impact which has come because the way digital is, all kinds of stuff which happens. Once this legislation, once content starts getting moderated, once the publishers of content, or at least the carriers of content, even if not the publishers, start getting controlled, control is a strong word, but still start coming under purview of legislation, which will happen. It's a matter of time. then you'll see a lot of change happening. People be careful. All this consumers are chasing content. So I find some exciting stuff or personalized stuff coming on to me, that will change. It may not be in the same form it is. So that is when the real value of measurement will come in. Now, coming to measurement, which is the topic which was the specific niche which was given in terms of measurement in the age of convergence, absolutely. There is no doubt in my mind it's extremely critical. And you have to measure across media. You just can't measure TV alone or digital alone or outdoor alone separately or print separately. It has to be cross media. And I think cross media gives you tremendous amount of value in terms of the relative importance of each of these medium. But cross media measurement in India, it's very easy to do. I mean, I'm going to say something which I'm sure some of you know, most of you will not. It's very easy. The capability is not a problem. The problem is managing stakeholders. Each one has his own point of view. Some people believe, like I said earlier, there's no need for measurement. We are growing. Some people believe, and I don't want to take names, but some very, very senior and powerful people say that to me. But I think the point I want to make, measuring is not an issue at all. The capability is there. I'll give you small, small examples. Hashtag put up that video on connected TV. Everyone claims numbers on connected TV, whatever numbers. I'm not disputing Vivek Malhotra's numbers of 100 million or whatever. He'll win my tail otherwise before this call ends. I mean, before the session ends. So, but today we can measure. So Hotstar has put out all kinds of numbers, and I'm not saying the wrong numbers on the World Cup final in terms of concurrence viewership, and that's all fine. But today, Bach has the capability of measuring connected TV. It's very simple. you know we have a baseline. The baseline has x number of homes. This baseline is done a year back. It's being updated now as we speak. There's a certain number of connected TV homes, right or wrong. There's a baseline. That number may be smaller than what everyone's touting around as the total number of connected TV homes, 25 million or whatever, but that apart, there is a database, and that is the same which is applied to TV. So there's a relative comparison. All we have to do is tag. Bach works on watermarking. That watermarking has to be pointed to the feed which goes into the connected TV feed. It's a separate feed. It's as simple as that. It's not very complicated. The current technology, current money, it can be done. We have spent more than 6 months, not 6, 3 months trying to convince stakeholders to come on to measurement. So it's not about the capability. Similarly, doing cross media measurement on handheld devices, which is another thing which people say so many million up so million people carrying their smartphone. Why can't we measure the content being viewed there? Very easy to do. Most of you will be surprised to know that for the last 5 to 6 years, Bach is running a panel of 12,000 homes. 12,000 homes. I joke not. 12,000 homes, which is doing concurrent measurement of TV and digital at this point in time. The data is not coming out for a variety of reasons, because digital measurement requires scaling up to a large. Yes, Ria, you're right. For last 5 years it's running. Yeah, we pay about 10, 12 crores a cost. In fact, at one point in time, I was telling Nakul, close it down. So he said, no, 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 we must keep it going. When you tell the stakeholders close it down, they say, no, 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 keep it going. But the data is not coming out for two reasons. One is people are not sure with the cross media measurement. They say, I think, but I'm sure with the stakeholders want cross media measurement. And secondly, we need to tie up. We need to tie up with large base, like in our case, we are done with Nielsen. People will not know we had a JV with Nielsen. We had done work with Nielsen. We had spent, given them about 20, 25 crores or whatever money we gave them, but then it never took off, because managing stakeholders in this country is a bit like a politics. Managing stakeholders, a coalition government is what? Park is like a coalition government. So managing diverse interests is a bit of a challenge. And so I think I'm known for speaking it the way it comes. So be it. So I think so. The problem is not capability, but hopefully at some point in time it'll dawn on people that measurement is critical. I'll give you some more examples. One of the reasons why OTT has taken off, it's dramatically done well, is very niche content. It's content which a lot of people in this room will empathize with. With no offense meant, but some of the content which some of the mass channels are showing is not what people like us will watch. That again is a flaw of the measurement. It can be rectified very easily. It's not the capability, it's the intent or is the desire to make it happen. So we're working on it. Hopefully, in this there will be less stakeholder objections, but hopefully, I say fingers crossed. So today, you see, measurement. A lot of it is forced viewing. For example, there is this free dish. All of you are familiar with the free dishes. So we're trying to, and that has a great influence, especially in those broadcasters which are beaming in the HSM market, especially some of the news guys. So what we are doing is now we've worked out a algorithm where we can divide uh, uh, free and pay. We can The data still comes out, it's not weighted. So hopefully in January, February, we will have free and pay separately. And if we have free and pay separately, then maybe the next step, again, it's not a capability issue, it's managing stakeholder issue. Maybe in 6 months time, maybe earlier, maybe later, then we'll divide pay into further homes. So pay will be divided into, you can cut it whichever way you want. I'm just ad libbing at this point in time. You may cut it into, cable TV homes versus DTH homes. There is data to believe that DTH homes are a particular profile slightly better than cable TV homes of particular thing. We can cut it whichever way you want. So if you were to do that, then this whole maramari which the news channels do, I'm sure all of you in the room would have heard, they trouble us with what is called landing pages, will all go away, because landing homes primarily happens in cable homes. When you start seeing data and smart advertisers start saying it, because finally, like I said, 80% of the money for broadcasters, in some cases 100% will come from advertising and not from subscription. They start seeing data saying, listen, in DTH homes it's difficult to do landing, it's difficult to do infiltration. I'm sure all you understand the meaning of the word infiltration. So it's difficult. So why don't we, I mean, if this channel is, and we see the data inside, we are seeing it. It's not that we are not seeing the data, but to see it outside, that if we do DTH home separately, she's a media buyer there. She runs a large company, and she says, "Listen, if channel A is, without even naming the channel, is number one and by far in DTH homes, but overall is number five or number six. Hey, there's something wrong." For my audience, for a car brand which she handles, they work with a very large car brand. For a car brand, why should we look at the so-called number one at this point in time? So measurement in a manner of speaking will allow. Then she starts layering the CTV data which we put out, if at all we put it out. And she said, listen, CTV homes, this is the broadcaster which is doing well. So I think measurement will. So the point I keep making is that, and there are many such examples. I'll give you one more example. And this is all stakeholder. So today there is this big thing about individual. Now this is so far you may have got the impression, I didn't mean it, that stakeholders I meant broadcasters. It could be even us. It could be advertisers also. So there's a big thing. If you remember when Bach started many years back, 15, 16 years back. And for first 6 months, for a variety of reasons, some stated, some unstated, we put out household data. We didn't put out individual data. There was a huge hue and cry. Some of India's largest advertisers, I mean, not difficult to guess who they are, jumped up and down saying at the board meeting, this cannot go on, you have to make it individual. Now, let me tell you the implication of this. So, the implication of this is that, you have to, individuals, how do you measure? You go to the home, you put a meter, you connect it to the TV set, and then you give a remote. And on the remote, you say A, B, C, D, E, whatever, and everyone walks in has to press the button. Then half the time people would not press. Then there was a big beeper which would noise would be made. Then they throw the bloody meter out. They say we don't want this. Anyway, we trained our people. Our people claim we have trained them. I still wonder how, but they claim that they've trained them 90% compliance. Now, when you do that, you'll only get a particular profile of home. So chances are a lot of people in this room will not allow a meter to be put in the home. They say, we're not interested in this because we want individual data. So because people want individual data, so they're getting, button pressing. So you want that kind of profile of homes, which is why a lot of news channels, especially in the state, come and tell me, the meters are put in such and such home because those are the people who are agreeing to press the button. So now we have come with a proposal saying, listen, we have 15 years of track record. We can ascribe data. We get household data. Let's not go after the button pressing, and we will ascribe it to individuals, create some algorithms. So that has some logic to it. Having said that, the other counter problem is that the industry, and again, this got nothing to do with broadcasters, the market research industry in its wisdom decided this whole NCCS ABCDE classification. Now, that's not durable ownership. And India has thankfully become so prosperous in the last 10 years that that has become redundant. You'll agree with me. That's not discriminate at all. So, NCCS AB is 67% of the country or 60% of the country. C is about 75% of the country. You can't find D and E. When you go to recruit, you can't find D and E. It's next to impossible to find. So, quotas are not there. So, thankfully, Indian Society of Advertisers, Marketing Society is working very aggressively. And I must thank Shubhadeep from ITC who's working on this to ensure that we come out of the new system. But again, getting alignment of the system is going to be take time because that means segments will become powerful. You may suddenly find that in the top end segment, whatever it's called, ISEC has A1, A2 segment, you'll find news becoming as big as GECs. You may find that. That's not going to be easy for stakeholders to absorb because there's a change in the pecking order and the hierarchy. So again, so there are many things. You see, there are many moving parts to this whole measurement thing. But if you do that, what is the gain? Today, everyone says, and I'm not picking up connected TV because I don't like. I love connected TV, but people are ignoring HD. If I can start slicing and dicing television, if I start putting data out for HD, you may find that the World Cup viewership on those 60, 70 million HD homes was far higher than connected TV viewers. The impression given today is that concurrent viewership overall, of course, but on connected TV was very high. Vivek Malhotra may find that he's put up those 100 million viewers theoretically, the construct, and he's getting X number of viewership on connected TV. He may find if I start putting data out on HD, he's got far better viewership in those segments. A car brand will say, I don't need to advertise on a GC. I may just advertise on news. I'm just illustrating. So I think the point, there are many such things. So the limited point I'm making is that it's not a capability issue. It's not a issue of, but there are many moving parts, and it's an industry body. So industry body means everyone has a voice, and everyone has a voice. So in equal, it's like a bit like a democracy, but it works. So our democracy also works, BARC also works, and hopefully we'll get there. But I am a born optimist, so I am confident that some of these hurdles will be crossed. We will get there. The purpose of saying all this was to show that there's hope. Just like digital has created segments, TV will create segments. TV will create segments, and those segments will become relevant. Those segments are already huge. If today we start slicing the TV, and we have done it, so I mean, I've said a lot, but some of it I have to hold back, that we have sliced the TV audiences into multiple segments, and you'll find there are healthy, profitable segments for advertisers to look. I just gave the example of auto clients. There are many, many other categories where you can look. Not everyone wants a cookie cutter, one cloth cutter all approach. So limited point that measurement definitely has to evolve. Capability exists. There are two things holding us back. One is, should I say, to a great extent, stakeholder management. Naturally so, because people have their own and a lot of it would be surprise. Pankaj, did you know that we're running a panel at 12,000 homes on digital? Yeah, I mentioned to you earlier. Yeah. So, it's been running for 4 5 years. So that's it. But using the stage, once you give me a stage, it's difficult to get off. I must plug teleprint. Print is something which I close dear to my heart. So while you guys told me that it's about TV measurement, as you know, which probably few people know, I also ran the TV with the print measurement body for 2 years. Did sweet nothing because no research came out. So, but I did run it for whatever it is worth. So I'm still on the board of MRUC. So I think my advice to the print guys is not connected to measurement. There's a huge opportunity there. You have the infrastructure in place. Embrace digital. Don't necessarily give your products away to the big guys, the giants in the room. Embrace them. There is a great opportunity to experiment. When I talk to the print guys, they all say, there are many in the room, that we keep digital and print at arm's length because the CPMs on digital are very low. Google, because of their base is so large, they've created CPMs, the vision you can't match. So it'll erode, and buyers from our side will erode the value from print. That may be fine, but there are ways of doing it. If you use it's like a funnel. If you look at the top of the funnel for the awareness and all those other things, which people come to print for, and you look at the bottom of the funnel for personalization, especially when data protection comes in, advertisers and clients are going to find it damn difficult to manage those data. That's where print can play a critical role. The digital products, I mean, Bhaskar, Jagran, Anadu, all of them, huge online presence. If you start mining the data and you say, listen, I'll advertise in print, but I'll follow up, do a CRM mechanism or a mechanism to ensure that you get conversion for your car or your mobile phone or whatever on digital with the consumers have the contact. Remember, this is the country where even the e-commerce guys are moving towards online offline models. Who has better online offline models than the digital than print guys? You go to a Bhaskar, what a distribution, or a Jagran, where I sit on the board. You have a huge distribution. They're delivering paper every day in and out to lakhs and lakhs of readers, and they have digital capabilities. Combine the two, use them intelligently. It's not only about CPMs and rates. So that was a small plug footprint. So hope it made some sense. The lot I say, I don't know if it made sense. Thank you very much for inviting me. Thanks for your time.
I'd like to invite on stage Mr. V. Umanath, co-founder and managing editor, medianewsforyou.com. So let's give it a round of applause for Mr. Shashi Sinha for presenting such an insightful and interactive session. Thank you. Thank you very much, sir.